So I've always been a lesbian. I've never really liked guys. I've never liked guys. I can tell when a guy is very attractive, very handsome, a nice looking guy. Yes, I can tell. But I don't naturally look at them and think, wow, I want that. Like, that's what I want. Like, I want to marry that guy. I, I can't think like that. And I was never really wired to think like that. Ever since I was 5 years old, I remember having crushes on my teachers. But most people think that's impossible because they say, oh, well, when you're 5, you don't know what you want. It's not that I knew what I want. It's just like little boys have crushes on little girls, have crushes on their teachers, a girl can do the same thing, or a boy can look at another boy like that's not anything new. And I feel like a lot of people think that, oh wow, like that's, you couldn't possibly have known what you wanted. We didn't say that we knew what we wanted. We just said that we looked towards that way and we knew something was wrong with us. We knew we were different. Okay? I want to set that straight because a lot of people tend to think, oh, well, you were only 5. How could you have possibly known? No kid know what they really want and when they're a kid. No kid really knows. You know what I'm saying? Because as you grow, period, even when you grow into your adulthood, you're still trying to find yourself. So that shouldn't even be said. But a lot of adults tend to say that. So that's why I just want to make that clear right now. I've always seen myself wanting to be married to a girl. I've always seen myself looking at girls. I've never looked at a guy and was attracted to a guy. I must say, I've tried. There were times that I said, hey, maybe when I'm 18, maybe I will start being interested in guys. Because everybody used the number 18 as, oh, well, that's when you know a lot of things you want to do. So, then that led me to think, okay, well, maybe when I'm 18, I'll be attracted to a guy. Like, I'll get a boyfriend or something, right? As I got older and I grew older, my desire and my likeliness just got stronger towards women, towards females. I enjoyed looking at females. And I still enjoy looking at females, and I'm almost 30. Nothing has really changed, right? So when I was a sophomore in high school, I had a guy friend, and turns out that he had a little crush on me. I didn't know at the time, but he ended up actually telling me he did and telling me how he wanted to date me. And I was just looking like, I was silent for a minute because I didn't know what to say. I was wondering why couldn't he tell that I didn't like men. And what was the crazy thing was that I wasn't completely out the closet, but around that time I had a lot of friends that knew that I didn't like men. So I was so confused as how he didn't pick up on it. So anyways, I told him like, oh no, I'm good. I don't date guys, whatever. He goes, oh, but I really like you. I promised to be a good boyfriend, this, and that. And I'm looking like, but I like girls. I told him that. He was like, it's okay. You can like girls and guys. At that moment, I was thinking like, if somebody tell you that they like one gender, that doesn't mean that they want to do both. Like, I told you I liked girls because I don't like guys. I didn't tell you I like girls and guys, but he just took it as that and ran with it. So, me and him would be talking throughout the day at school or whatever, and I decided to give him a shot, to see where this goes, to explore my options or options that I could have had, but I really don't really want. And I already knew what I really wanted, but I just tried it anyways because why not? I ended up saying yes. We ended up hanging out all the time, going to his house. I would be at his house till sometimes 1 a.m. I was over there a lot. I was cool with his sister. I was cool with his brother. We would cook food together, everything. Like, he was fun to be around. He was also really, really sweet. Like, almost not a mean bone in his body. You know how people say some girls like mean dudes. Even if he was mean, I don't even think I would have went to the mean guy. You know what I'm saying? It was just the fact that he was like super timid, super nice, super sweet. But even if I was straight, I don't even think he'd be my type. But he was a nice guy, you know what I'm saying? And he was my friend, you know? So I dated him for like maybe 2 weeks, and then I would tell him like, you know, I don't think I could do this. I'm not feeling it. I can't do it, you know? And you know how there's just a feeling in your chest that you just know, like, that you can't fake something that's not real. That's how I literally felt. I felt like I was burning inside because I couldn't fake what wasn't real for real. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I kept going on with it. Then I built up the courage to break up with him. So I break up with him at a park or something, and he starts crying and stuff. I felt bad when he started crying. So I said, okay, let me try it again. So I got back with him, right? And this was like over the summer, so we would hang out a lot and be outside a lot. Well, when school started back, first day of school came, second day of school came, all of a sudden everybody know that me and him are dating. And I'm like, dang, he done told everybody in the whole school that we date. And then I got people that know I'm gay around the school too. So I'm looking like, well, is anybody ever going to speak of that though? Is anybody ever going to, like, nobody speaks of my sexuality, which was pretty cool because it, you know, it's not theirs to speak of anyway. But at that time, at that point in time, I wanted somebody to speak up my sexuality so that way he can start questioning, and maybe he could break up with me and I'll be set free. But it didn't go that way. He tried to hold my hand a lot of times. He tried to kiss me. It was times where he would try to play fight just so he can think he can squeeze a kiss up in there. I wasn't going. I couldn't do it. Every time he asked me to hold his hand, I would try to attempt to, but I would pull back because it just didn't feel right. Like, I just, you know, like, I can't hold no man's hand. Like, they're so rough and just manly like, and just rough and ashy like, and I like smooth skin, beautiful skin. I'm not saying that men skins are just rough all the time, because I see men that got pretty nice smooth skin and take good care of their skin. But at the same time, it's the difference between holding a man hand and a female hand. Female hand is very feminine, soft, feel girly, and then you got a man's hand that's more like aggressive and all just rough like. Even if your skin is smooth, you hold a man's hand, they got more of a strong grip. You hold a woman's hand, they got more of a feminine, soft grip, you know, kind of smooth with it, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference, you know, and I just don't like the way it feel when I would hold his hand. Then when he tried to kiss me for the like 13th time, I ended up punching him in his arm and giving him a bruise just so I can avoid whatever he was trying to do at that moment, because I knew he was trying to kiss me. I would say we dated for about 3 months before I really just gave it my all and just broke up with him, because I told him, look, I can't do this. Like, I don't like guys. I'm not attracted to guys. I don't want to be with the guy. I like feminine, female. And although he was sad, I had to let him be sad because I couldn't be miserable dating him when I wanted the girls in high school. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the girls to be looking at me in high school. I wanted to be picking up girls in high school. I didn't want to be with him. Next thing you know, if I'm trying to mac at a girl, she find out I'm with him and she looking at me like, you I never would have thought you liked both. Why you ain't say nothing? Well, because I was trying to hide it. Even after high school, though, I tried to continue to be his friend, tried to continue to hang out with him and be cool with him. A couple years after we linked up, when I thought he changed and developed into a better person only because we were a lot older after high school. I mean, I would say we was about 5 years out of high school when I linked back up with him and was trying to still be cool with him and kick it with him and stuff. And he just kept the whole time, like, there are times that I would hang out with him. One time he'll be drunk and he'll want to talk about how he miss us being together. Mind you, we were young kids in high school, like 16, 17 years old. And he over here talking about, oh, I wish I could be with you. You know, I wish that you could like guys and we could be together, this and that and the other. And I would tell him, you know, to stop, because now I'm in my full masculinity. I mean, I dress like a boy. I'm a masculine presenting woman at this point. I mean, in high school, I was kind of a mixture. But now that we've been out of high school, like, I'm masculine presenting now. So I want you to respect me as such. You know what I'm saying? You see that I got my whole swag going on. You can't be sitting up here, we around people in public places, and you over here sobbing because you want us to be together, and I look like a whole dude right now. You know what I'm saying? So I would tell him to stop a few times, and I'll give him multiple chances because I didn't want to just cut him off like that. You know, next time we hang out, he ends up doing the same thing, and he was sober this time, and all he wanted to talk about was, oh, you know, I miss being with you. Like, and I don't like that. It's like, once I tell you like what it is and what I'm about, you gotta respect that, because when we dated, we didn't do nothing. It was like a little kiddie game to me. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole dating thing in high school, it felt like a kiddie game to me. To me, it wasn't serious, only because we never kissed, we never did anything, you know what I'm saying, and we didn't even date long. It was about 2 or 3 months and done. Like, I never held his hand. I was never really affectionate towards him, so I don't understand how he could have fell that hard and deep wanting to be with me. My experience, actually, that was the only guy that I ever really tried to date, was him. And the thing is, everybody would say, oh, maybe you just need to find the right guy, or you just need to do this, and maybe he's not the one for you. That wasn't it. It was that I'm not attracted to guys. I can't be attracted to somebody with big muscles and strong body figure. Like, I cannot. I like femininity. Femininity is where I lean towards. I'm sorry to say, but that's just how it is. Regardless of what anybody else think. If you're not gay, then you probably will never understand. And although he was a nice guy, like, if I wanted a guy, I would want my guy to be ambitious, like, have dreams and goals, willing to reach for something higher. And he didn't have that. He didn't have any of that. It was like he was a downer. He was like very negative on top of that. He was nice and sweet, but he was a very negative downer type person. You know, where I'm over here, and I've always been like entrepreneurship driven. I've always had drive to do other stuff and to do things that I like to do, to where he just settled for whatever and didn't even really care about trying to do anything better, you know? And I think when I say this, I speak for all women in general. Like, all women want really is a man to provide. I mean, they want that. That's what they say. But not all women get that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women just settle for whatever they could find because they feel like they can't find a guy to their standards. You know, they may have had high standards at one point, but then once they felt like they couldn't find it, they just gave up and just said, I'll take what God gives me. Or I'll take what this person doing over here. I'll just take it, you know, when there is better out there. Now, if y'all are in the closet, lesbians and gays, I'm going to tell y'all right now, like, you know, don't be afraid to tell people no and just be yourself. Don't feel peer pressure to do something only because a person keeps chasing after you. I think that that's what I did. I felt peer pressure because he kept coming after me. And then I'm like, oh, I'll just try it. You know, I'll see if I like it or not, you know. But in reality, I knew what I liked. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I was leaning towards women, and that's where it was going to stay. I knew my mind wouldn't change. And some people, they really do like both. Some people just like both, and that could work for them. But for me, I look to one, and one is what I want only, you know? Pretending is not a good thing to get into because it's bad for your mental, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're stressing and you're trying to be something you're not because you're so focused on pretending to be a certain way just because society thinks that, well, you should try this to know what you like, or you should do this to know what you like, or you really don't know what you like because you haven't tried this. That stuff ain't real. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, so many people will tell you, oh, well, how do you know what you like if you never tried it? That doesn't make sense at all. Like, think about it. If you're straight, you don't say, well, how do you know what you like if you never tried it? So you're not going to go to a guy and be like, well, if you never tried the D, how do you know what you like? You know, like, it doesn't make sense. Whatever you attract, whatever you are attracted, whoever you are attracted to is just what you're attracted to. There's no such thing as, oh, well, how do you know what you like? Well, just try it. How do you know if you like, you know what I'm saying? Because regardless if intimately it feels good, that don't mean that that's what I want. And I think a lot of people get that confused. They're so quick to bring up genitals and being intimate with a person. And when it's not about that. It's about personality. It's about what's on the inside. It's about how you feel when you're with a certain person. But a lot of people, they quickly take it to the sex, period. They quickly just talk about sex, go right into sex. Why do it have to be about sex? Why can't it be about the kindness and genuineness inside of a person? You know, the way a person makes you feel without having that intimate stuff. Because you could be intimate with a person and not even like them. You could not like nothing about them and still be intimate with them, just using them for their body. Once I had that little experience of dating that guy, I knew that I will never do that again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't even do anything physical with him. I just simply said, okay, well, let me try dating him. And I couldn't go as far as holding a hands with him. That's how you know it's bad. I knew what I wanted all along. But people will get in your head and make you seem like, oh, just because you're young, you don't know what you want. Maybe you don't know what you want yet. You don't know what you want to do yet. Maybe you're just experimenting. Or it's just a phase, they say. But it's not a phase. It's not a phase. If you're interested in that, and if that's what you lean towards, you're more than likely going to go for it. And think about it like this, too. I feel like the only reason why people think, you have people that do things for trends, and you have people that are really about what they say they are. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that do things for trends are just doing it because they think it's cool, they think it's cute, and it's a game to them. You know, it's not real. And I feel like a lot of the 2000 babies, like the mid 2000 babies, are the fakes. They're the ones that want to try things out because they see it as a trend. Where you got people that were born in the 90s like me, and hey, if we like in the same sex and we know that's what we want, and we see that and we lean towards that, that's what we gonna get. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I see things, though. I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. But I don't know, give y'all input on this whole, like, what do y'all think when y'all hear people say, well, maybe you should try this? Because when it comes to, like, sexuality, in a sense, I don't believe that there's a such thing as trying. Like, you just know what you're attracted to. Straight people don't have to try and see what they like. They just know, oh, well, I'm attracted to a female, or I'm attracted to a guy. Like, and it's supposedly supposed to be that way. I just can't fake it. Like, I've never been a faker, and I'm not about to start now. Some people still tell me maybe I should try to do. Like, some people still tell me that, and I'm just like, that will never happen. I just can't get in the mindset of doing that. Like, that is so corrupt and so unhealthy for my mindset, and like that is so unhealthy for anybody. I'm not doing that. I feel like, yeah, when you're a teenager, experiment, whatever, do whatever. But once you become an adult, I'm not experimenting. I'm not doing none of that extra stuff that's just, I know that's not me. Point blank, period.